Assalamu alaikum, 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan, the news read by Tarannum Salman. The headlines. The Prime Minister will leave on a one-day visit to the UAE tomorrow. Foreign Minister and his UAE counterpart at a meeting in Abu Dhabi have discussed bilateral relations and regional issues. Pakistan has strongly condemned the farcical Indian charge sheet against Dukhtarani Millat chairperson Asia Andarabi. Prime Minister's Special Assistant on Accountability says the details of properties owned by the Sharif family in London have been sought from the British government. The Ukrainian ambassador says his country is trying its level best to ensure access of Pakistani traders into its markets. In Afghanistan, 37 Taliban have been killed in two separate operations by the government forces in Nangarhar and Kunduz provinces. And South Africa beat Australia in a T20 match by 21 runs at Carrara today. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan will leave on a one-day visit to the UAE tomorrow. The invitation to his visit was extended by Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. The Prime Minister will be accompanied by Ministers of Foreign, Finance, Energy and Petroleum, as well as Advisor on Commerce. During the visit, discussions will be held on bilateral relations and matters of regional and international interest. Prime Minister Imran Khan will meet with Vice President and Prime Minister of UAE, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, besides other high officials. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi met with his United Arab Emirates counterpart, Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, on the sidelines of Sar Bani Yas Forum on Middle East in Abu Dhabi. During the meeting, matters pertaining to bilateral cooperation and regional issues of mutual interest came under discussion. Pakistan has strongly condemned the farcical Indian charge sheet against Dukhtarani Millat chairperson Asia Andarabi. Foreign Office spokesperson Dr. Mohammad Faisal in a tweet said the continuing Indian attempts to label the legitimate Kashmiri struggle for self-determination as terrorism have failed miserably. He said Indian incarceration of Kashmiri leaders on baseless charges violates the Human Rights Charter and makes a mockery of Indian claims of being a democracy. Asia Andarabi incarcerated while Sayyid Ali Gilani was allowed out of house arrest after 8 years. Dr. Mohammad Faisal said India needs to accept the reality of its failure to try to label every Kashmiri woman to old men and children as militant or terrorist. Foreign Office spokesperson called upon the international community to expedite establishment of Commission of Inquiry as recommended in OHCHR and APPKG reports. Minister for Education and Professional Training Shafqat Mahmood has directed all attached departments of education sector to enhance their output for promoting and strengthening education system in the country. He issued the directions during his visit to Basic Education School Community and Urdu Science Board in Lahore today. The Education Minister said uniform education system will be introduced across the country to provide equal opportunities to people of all segments of society. Minister for Railways Sheikh Rashid Ahmed says the government is committed to work with China on Karachi-Peshawar Main Line 1 ML1 project. Talking to newsmen in Lahore today, he said steps are being taken to improve the status of Pakistan Railways and make the journey by trains more pleasant and safer for passengers. The minister said 11,000 employees will be recruited in Pakistan Railways on merit. He said Pakistan Railway presently runs 6 new trains and 4 more trains will be added in the near future. Special Assistant to Prime Minister on Accountability Shahzad Akbar says the previous government misused public funds and authority which caused irreparable loss to the National Exchequer. During a joint press conference with Special Assistant Iftikhar Durrani in Islamabad, he said details about the misuse of funds and authority are being sent to the National Accountability Bureau for investigation. Shahzad Akbar said the government will ask NAB to hold independent investigation and we are going to hand over the record of Prime Minister House from 2014 to 2018 to NAB. He said the properties owned by the Sharif family in London are also under scrutiny and details have been sought from the British government. Speaking on the occasion, Iftikhar Durrani said the government is fully resolved to follow the cases of accountability. The ambassador of Ukraine to Pakistan has said that the major areas of trade between Ukraine and Pakistan are agriculture products, and the Ukraine government is trying its level best to ensure access of Pakistani traders into the Ukraine market. He said this in a meeting with Senior Vice Chairman Sargodha Chamber of Commerce and Industry Hassan Yusuf in Sargodha today. The ambassador said oranges of Pakistan are very famous in Ukraine, and 45 metric ton oranges have been exported from Pakistan to Ukraine last year. He said the volume of trade of oranges could be increased from 800 to 1,000 containers per annum. This is Radio Pakistan. In Afghanistan, 37 Taliban and 3 government security personnel have been killed in 2 separate operations by government forces in Nangarhar and Kunduz province. In Nangarhar province, the government forces stormed Taliban hideouts in Zawi area of the Khogiani district and killed 30 Taliban militants. Similarly, 7 Taliban were killed when they attacked security checkposts in Charkhab and Baghi Mir areas of Khanabad districts in Kunduz province. 3 security personnel were also killed in the attack. Iran and Iraq have expressed the resolve to boost cooperation in all sectors despite US sanctions. During a meeting with his visiting Iraqi counterpart, Barham Saleh in Tehran, the Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said Iran would try to raise the level of annual trade between the two neighbors through bilateral efforts. And in Iraq, 4 Daesh militants were killed in an airstrike in eastern Diyala province. A provincial security official said that Iraqi warplanes bombarded Daesh hideout in Himreen mountain area in northeast of the provincial capital, Bakuba. The World Food Programme has expressed concern over deteriorating security situation in Yemen. Talking to reporters at the United Nations Executive Director of World Food Programme, David Beasley, he stressed that Yemen is not on the brink of a catastrophe, but this is a catastrophe. He said economic conditions in the country are also deteriorating due to severe price hike, and the country has no liquidity to inject into the economy. He urged the need to double the efforts to avert mass starvation, as nearly 8 million people of the country are in an emergency situation. The United States and South Korea have affirmed their commitment to close coordination towards denuclearization. According to a statement issued by the U.S. State Department spokesperson, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with South Korean Unification Minister and in Washington and discussed issues related to the Korean Peninsula. Talking about denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, the spokesperson said, "We have a long way to go, but Washington believes in giving diplomacy a chance." In the United States, more than 1,000 people are reported missing in a California wildfire which has destroyed thousands of homes. Local officials say forensic recovery teams have recovered remains of at least 71 people, while search for the remaining is underway. South Africa won the one-off T20 match against Australia by 21 runs at Carrara today. And finally, the weather. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. Very cold weather is expected in Gilgit-Baltistan, Malakand Division, and North Balochistan. And before we end the bulletin, here once again are some of the headlines. And news just in, on the second day of the first cricket test against Pakistan at Abu Dhabi, New Zealand in their second innings were 56 for the loss of 1 wicket at stumps today. Earlier, Pakistan in their first innings scored 227 runs, getting the lead of 74 runs against New Zealand's first innings. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.